Hey guys, okay, I'm trying to look at the camera somewhere over there. Um, it's been a month since I had gastric bypass, roux Y, and sorry, I have like this little hand thing that helps me hold my iPhone as I record videos, and I just broke it like 10 seconds ago as I was trying to adjust it, so sad face. So, sorry if this video is especially wobbly. So it's been a month since gastric bypass. I'm gonna try to encapsulate the last month in in a concise video, and I'm really not good at that, so I apologize ahead of time. The surgery itself happened on Tuesday, December 12th. I went in. I was the first patient of the morning, so my surgery was scheduled for 7:15. So that they asked you to go in 2 hours early. So I was at the hospital at 5 a.m. I had a lot of friends who wanted or who didn't necessarily want to, but who offered really nicely and kindly to come in with me. But I basically told them, look, I'm just going to be sitting in a waiting area, and then and then I'll be like getting ready for surgery. You don't have to come, just come visit me after surgery. So went in, get to the hospital at 5:15. Um, sorry, God, this is gonna be such a shaky video. Got to the waiting area at 5:15. Had to sit in they basically told me when I checked in, they're like, yeah, the nurses don't get in until 6. So I really didn't have to come in 2 hours early, but whatever. I'm sure if you come in later in the day, 2 hours early is the best way to do it. So I came in, I at 6, or around 6:15, I guess, they called me into the back. I took off all my clothes and put on my robe. They put an IV in me, and then a couple of doctors came by. The two anesthesiologists who were going to be part of the surgery. One, I think, was a med student. She was really nice and really kind. The nursing staff was all really nice and really kind. Sorry if I look really tired. I mean, A, I just lost like 50 pounds, but also B, it's like super early in the morning for me. And I'm a little dehydrated, so I feel like I'm looking extra dusty. So I was getting a little nervous, and they said they would give me, if I kind of said, hey, I'm feeling nervous, and they were like, okay, we'll get you Valium or something. But then I think they just kind of forgot, and I was like, I don't really need it. So, you get in the bed, they cart you into the surgical, or to the operating room, then you kind of have to like shimmy off of like the bed that they carted you in and onto the operating table. And it was like, I was like, oh, this is really happening. And then sort of chatting a little bit with the people who were doing my operation, which kept me calm. And then they gave me an oxygen mask to start breathing into. I've had one other surgery like this. I mean, not like gastric bypass surgery. I had jaw surgery when I was 15, but it was in an operating room because it was sort of complicated. And I remember when they gave me the gas mask or whatever that thing is, they were like, just count back from 10. And I remember going like 10, 9, and then I was out. And then I remember waking up after surgery. This time, I was actually just sitting there for a while. I don't think whatever they were doing to knock me out, they didn't do for a little bit. And they were just getting ready, and I was totally fine with that. And then I think I just kind of drifted away to sleep. And the next thing I know, I woke up in the recovery area, which is, I think, right where they cart you after surgery. So there are a bunch of other people in the room, or other patients, I should say, but you're all sort of cordoned off in like curtained off area cubicles. And then I just kind of grogged awake a little bit, and the pain wasn't what I was expecting. So like I could feel my incisions, and that wasn't really bad. It was the gas pain that was like, holy F word. That was really, really, it was just a surprise to feel it, even though they had warned me about it. And it, it wasn't the end of the world, but it was certainly uncomfortable. And I was already kind of groggy and on drugs, so it kind of didn't matter. So when I was awake enough, I just sort of, I think I made enough noise. I just sort of said, hey, hello, I'm up. and someone came over and checked on me, and then shortly thereafter they carted me up to my room. They plugged me in, and I was basically in my hotel sorry, my my hospital room for 2 days. You know, uh, for those 2 days in the hospital, I was really just. I'm not someone who likes being helped a lot. I just have like weird issues with that, and I just really like being self sufficient, and I don't like being dependent, and I don't like complaining and all these things. But I really had to like buck up and just sort of give in to the fact that I'm in a hospital bed. I'm pretty immobile. I need people's help to like sit up and like get out of bed and do all these things. So I was actually okay with it all, and I just and then my instinct was when the nurses would come in to ask me how my pain was, my instinct was to say, "Oh, I'm okay," because I think that's what a lot of us do when someone's asking you, "Hey, how are you feeling? Are you okay?" I think it's like my instinct is just I'm just wired to say, "I'm good. I'm great. Don't worry about me." Um, Sorry, like a dog hair in my mouth. Gross. But I so the nurse would come in and she'd be like, "How are you feeling? What's your pain level?" And I'd be like, "It's like a 3," and then I was like, "Actually, it's more like a 7." And that was a good thing to force me to do because like if you don't tell them you're in pain or like that the pain is like enough that you can't really you're really uncomfortable and you can't relax, then they're not going to give you meds to make you feel better. They ended up giving me I had morphine a couple of times, but it was really there was other stuff that they gave me. I ended up not liking the morphine at all. It made me really groggy, and I felt like it was almost impeding my recovery because I just didn't want to do anything. So whatever the other pain medicine was, I just defaulted to that. And honestly, I think a lot of the pain was the gas in my body, and it was like at the top of my body. And then also I had a hiatal hernia, and they fixed that, and I think like my discomfort was mostly from that. Like when I was talking to the surgeon and explaining it, he's like, "I think it's the hernia repair that's probably bothering you more than the gastric bypass." I didn't have any issues with some people have talked about like they have to get x-rayed or drink this like liquid goo and then get x-rayed. I didn't have to do any of that, and luckily I've had a really good recovery, knock on wood. I'm gonna knock on the iPhone. Um, it was definitely while you're in the hospital, at least for me, they had me hooked up to this IV, and so they were constantly hydrating me, and so at first it was kind of hard to pee, but then just because I think the all the anesthesia had to work its way out of my body, and so like it was my body was just like, "What the F did you do to me?" But then after like I definitely peed the first day, and then after that I was fine, but I was peeing a lot because I was like so hydrated because it was just a saline drip that they had going on me, and I get it, they want to keep us hydrated because it's hard for us to drink water, especially those first few days. So I did that. I definitely realized I went to a really great hospital. I was at Cedars-Sinai in is it Beverly Hills? I think it's like on the border of Beverly Hills, but it's in Los Angeles. It's a really great hospital, but the nursing staff, like, I definitely had to make sure that I was sort of reminding them, like, "Hey, it's been 4 hours since my last pain med thing. Hey, can you like, can someone help me walk around?" Like, no one was really like forcing me to do anything, which is fine. I don't think I was expecting that, but I definitely had to be really on top of that. And there were the night nurses I wasn't really a fan of. Um, they were just sort of a little like, they just, I don't know, they were the night nurses. I don't know. But the day nurses were really great. And so I would, overall, I had a good experience with them. So Tuesday had surgery. Wednesday spent all day recovering. Wednesday night, we decided I'd stay in the hospital one more night, and then Thursday morning, I checked out. I had two friends come and pick me up. All my family's on the East Coast, and I'm obviously in Los Angeles. And we stopped at the grocery store and picked up some liquefied foods, and then I was basically home. Yeah, and I was home, and my friends offered to stay at my house with me, but I was kind of okay. So, I mean, it was a little hard getting out of bed, and I spent a lot of the day on the couch, and I was just really focused on like trying to drink protein drinks and staying on liquids. Um, and I had like no energy for those first couple of days, and I was definitely like I had moments where I was like, what did I do to myself? Like I have like these incisions. This is insane. I can't eat. I can't It's hard to drink. I mean, I definitely had some like periodic moments of like I feel like, just not wonderful, but I think I was prepared for that. I can, luckily I had so much time to mentally prepare for this surgery that I was really able to think about things ahead of time. And so when I was feeling anxious or sort of like down or whatever, I think I was able to just, in my head, I was able to remind myself, like, this is kind of how you react to things like this. You're going to be okay. This is temporary. Get through it. And so by the weekend, I was definitely up and walking around. And then on Monday, my boss didn't, he said, like, don't come in. Like, don't feel like you have to come in. But I ended up going into the office for a couple of hours to do some work. I had, the plan was for me to take that week off, and that it would have been fine if I hadn't gone into work, but I also just wanted to be up and running. And I was fine at the office. I mean, I felt a little woozy, a little tired. I was only there for like 3 or 4 hours, and usually I'm there for like 18 hours, or that's what it feels like. Obviously, it's not that much, thank goodness. Um, but yeah, it went, and so the rest of my holiday vacation was just me hanging out at the house, occasionally going to movies, Christmas Eve with friends and family, and the same for New Year's. So it's been a good recovery. I'm sorry, I buried the lead. My highest weight was 295. My surgery weight was like 273, and my current weight is 250. So, I mean, my surgery weight, though, 273, it's because I was on that clear liquid diet and had like nothing in my body. Um, but yeah, so I've lost a lot of weight in the last month. And I can definitely see it in my face. And my thumbnail image is just a before and after photo. And sorry, I woke up like this. Like I said, it's really early in the morning for me, and I look a little more scraggly than I think is my typical look. But it's been great. I'm really grateful for the surgery. I'm really happy so far. Sorry, my Alexa thinks I'm trying to talk to it, so it's like talking to me in the background. Um, I'm back on regular-ish foods. I can't have rice, pasta, or bread for the first 6 months, and I'm not really supposed to drink alcohol for the first 6 months to a year, and that's fine. But like yesterday, I went to Starbucks. I got myself like a green tea lemonade, which is probably a little bit of a no-no because it's got caffeine in it and the lemonade's a little sugary, but it's not that sugary, and I'm not a big sweet person, so I always ask for it unsweetened because the lemonade has enough sweetening in it anyhow. And then I had Starbucks, at least where I'm at, has these things called egg white bites that I think are pretty new. So I had those, and then I couldn't really eat anything else. Then I went out to the movies with a couple of friends. Then we went to dinner, and I had halibut fish with navy beans and like steamed spinach, and I was only able to eat like a little bit of it. But and then when I got home, I had a piece of low-fat string cheese. So I'm just trying to focus on proteins. But yeah, that's what I've been eating, and so I can eat normal foods. And this is obviously as of a few days ago. So thank goodness, because that liquid diet and the purees and everything, it's just kind of like, at first you're like, I can do this, it's no problem, no problem. But then after a while, it really does become a little monotonous. And so it's nice to be on mostly normal foods. Oh, and I also we walked to this like really cool sort of boutique-y ice cream stand. And I had a couple of spoonfuls of sea salt and caramel ice cream, and it was really good. But again, I'm not really a huge sweet person, but because I just felt like, I mean, I'm having a hard time getting as many calories as I probably should be getting, and I don't want to be malnourished. So I was like, a couple of spoonfuls of ice cream is okay. And luckily for me, I haven't experienced dumping. Um, I, I mean, the one thing I did experience is I think I ate too much one day. Over the period of a day, I had like 3 or 4 hard boiled eggs over the period of like 5 hours because I was just trying to load up on protein. And it ended up being too much, and I had like a really, really terrible stomach ache. And so I don't know that it was dumping, but I basically was like super uncomfortable for like it started early evening, and I just had to like lie in my bed, and then by the time I woke up the next morning, I was better. Yeah, no regrets, no regrets, no regrets so far. Um, I'm in. I have to go out of town this week for a business thing, a work thing, and then when I'm back, I think just according to all the timing, I'll be able to go back to the gym and working out and lifting weights and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I haven't gone because I'm not someone who jogs, and so I've been going for walks with the dog. But oh, the lights just turned off because it's must be 8 a.m. But because I have my lights on a programmer, I have the Hue lights or whatever. They're really fun and neat. I definitely recommend them. So yeah, I haven't been working out, doing cardio. I've just been walking the dog for a couple miles every day, which has been good. And but I'm really waiting to like that full 6 week when I'm done out of surgery, a full 6 weeks, and I can regain or resume physical activity. That's what I can't really wait to go back to the gym. And it's like January right now, which is like notoriously a terrible time to go to the gym because everyone's like New Year's resolutioning. And so by the time January ends, I feel like February, I'll be back by the end of January from this work trip. And then I'm really looking forward to just going back to the gym. I have a trainer who I work with a couple of times a week. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, and I'll be able to do core exercises. And so, when that all falls into place, I'm really excited for that. I do feel like I have a lot more energy in terms of, well, not, I mean, I've been a little low energy because I'm a little malnourished, but like, it's kind of embarrassing. But last night when I was at dinner with my friends, they were like, yeah, it's really funny. Like, you're not breathing loudly. Like, usually when we go to the movies with you, like, you breathe loudly. And I was like, really? Like, and you guys never told me? They're like, we told you once or twice, but like, you're always, we could always hear you breathing, but we don't hear you breathing anymore. And I think it's because I'm not carrying like 50 extra pounds of weight around. And it was hard. Like, just, like in a movie theater, just going up like, it's like halfway up the theater. It's like 2 flights of stairs. And I was always getting winded, and I'm definitely not feeling winded when I do stuff like that. So that's great. And, other things, I do feel like I'm hashtag reclaiming my time a little. So I'm really excited to keep updating you guys. I don't know how regularly I'll do this because I don't know how much I'll have to talk about. And I think it's sort of more compelling instead of like updating you guys every day. There's some really cool vloggers out there who do that, who can just talk and talk and talk and talk and have really interesting things to say. I don't think I'm one of those people, but I will definitely try to keep you guys updated periodically. And when I feel like there are sort of milestones to report back on, like the thumbnail image on this video is like an image of me right before surgery, and then an image I snapped this morning. The lighting's a little off between the two photos, so I look a little weird, but you can definitely, I feel like you can see it in my face that I've lost a lot of weight. My clothes are fitting better, and like they're starting to get loose, which is exciting. I don't obviously want to go clothes shopping yet. I want to wait at least a couple more months, but already everything is sort of looking a little baggy on me. So I'm trying to like find a way to balance that out because when I'm at work especially, I don't want to look too frumpy. But yeah, it's all really exciting. If you have any questions for me, like feel free to leave a question in the comments. Um, and you know, if you have anything you want to hear about, let me know. I'm looking at the little time code on this video and it's 20 minutes. So this is way less concise than I intended to. And sorry that I've been rambling, but thanks for watching. And I'm really excited to continue sharing my experience with you. Okay, take care. Have a great day.